Thank you so much for giving way. In Torbay and Devon, we have the third highest prevalence of strokes in the United Kingdom, and yet within the last 12 months, we've seen cuts to support for the local stroke association. This has left people suffering from strokes feeling isolated and abandoned. But does my right honourable friend agree with me that we need to see more investment at the grassroots to support such sufferers of strokes?
100%. The post-stroke support is absolutely critical, and I will come on to share some stories of people who have felt abandoned and isolated in exactly the way that he describes. So despite NICE guidelines, the Chartered Society of Physiotherapy say 20% of people don't receive the minimum specialist rehabilitation required in the first 5 days following a stroke, and 68% do not have an assessment for the rehabilitation required following discharge. So the reality is, for those who want to regain a level of independence, they need to be able to fund support privately. Now, I want to pay tribute to Richard Seeley, who runs the neuro rehab practice in Hampton in my constituency. He and his whole team are doing brilliant work in trying to fill that gap. And over the summer, I had the privilege of visiting the practice and speaking to stroke survivors and their carers about their experiences. What runs through so many of their stories, and I'm sure members will have heard similar, is the cliff edge that people fall off when they leave hospital and the devastating knock-on impact that can have. Now, I'd like to share some of their testimonies. One stroke survivor said, "I felt lost, like I'd been thrown out of the boat, not knowing what to do or where to find help." Another survivor's family member said, "Although the NHS took care of her while she was in hospital, we felt that after the 6 weeks had finished, it was very much a goodbye. You're on your own now." Another, when asked what happened when their NHS rehab ended and if they were given any further options, they simply replied, "Nothing." These survivor stories are far from unique, and that's just unacceptable. According to the Stroke Association, only 17% of community-based rehab services have appropriate access to each core therapy, whether that be physiotherapy, speech and language therapy, or occupational therapy. The Right to Rehab campaign argues for the simple idea that rehabilitation should be accessible to everyone who needs it, for